This was fun. I'm glad we got it over with.
That shit, yeah.
Torn survived. Torn survived.
Survive for real.
How about he's my
I don't.
brother?
I think we still don't have a solid answer on that one.
No, that was. I love it though.
Yeah.
Yes, it gotta stop though.
I don't
We
want to
gotta
talk
end.
about it anymore because that's
Gotta
Yeah, it's hard.
it's like it doesn't help. It doesn't serve
don't.
me at all to talk about this shit.
No,
And
It's all good.
It serves nobody, actually.
But we here.
It does. Y'all just don't know yet. And I'm sorry. We can get off it. I
All
want
right.
y'all to practice really hard.
The collective
Somebody try
pod.
it.
If I've been practicing, Tori. I
school,
promise.
Teach a class, Torn. Teach a class. Seriously. Because
No,
these women do not know the art of friendship like you do.
I'll try.
Sis.
No, for real.
No, you a good friend. I really fuck with you, Tori. You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand what you're saying. Like I'm not arguing with you. If you,
Yeah, we're cool.
I don't want you to think.
No, I know. It's just so unbelievable. That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what it really is.
no. It's believable. It makes sense. What I'm trying to elucidate to you is that your unicorn situation don't make a difference in how fucked up it is between men and women out here. It's horrible, dog. Like, and I wish that your story was the normal story, but it is not.
Mhm.
And these hoes will have you set up on just because, dog. Because you like, damn girl, you look good, and she thinking of robbing you. And you sexually attracted to her, or you want to be her friend or whatever, and next thing you know, you in a vicarious situation. So when you out and about thinking everything is all lovely dude, and then these niggas not even talking to me because these niggas want to walk away with their lives because every girl is not you. Like this is what I'm just trying to let you know. Like these girls is treacherous for no reason. They look just like you, and they smile just like you, and they innocent just like you, and they'll set you up quicker than you say peekaboo, nigga. Like you, like what the fuck? It's like, damn. Really, if we was gonna have a real talk about men and women, it's like, damn, why can't we trust these hoes out here? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but we can't have it for real because all we know is great women. You know what I'm saying? And the ain't shit women just kind of hide behind y'all for real, and you should be like, you know what I'm saying? Then we never get to the real conversation. But
there's a good song on that, y'all, to close it out with. It's called it's Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar. It's called Mona Lisa. It described that energy hood talking about. Y'all should check it out.
No doubt. That's a fire song.
I ain't never heard it.
Yeah, go check it out after this. Anyway, moving along. Look at this shit here. Jokes.
I don't see nobody indigenous on this picture.
No.
The Pope was honored. The Pope was honored by the indigenous people after apologizing for basically mass genocide against the Native Americans of this country. So there's a lot to unpack here. One, the fact that the Pope felt compelled that the Catholic Church was so guilty of genocide that the Pope felt compelled all these years later to speak out and basically say, like, we're sorry, we snatched your children up and forced them into our schools to indoctrinate them and teach them Catholicism and essentially whitewashed y'all's history. For that, we truly apologize and we hope that you can forgive us. That's crazy. It's even more crazy because there is a book that that absolutely describes the same thing, and they've made the book so hard to obtain that if the hard copy, at least, it was going for like $250,000 at one point. It's called 103 Amazing Facts About the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. It's just laying out the truths that, like, us people who identify as African American or Black are Like all of our DNA is all embedded because original indigenous people weren't fair-skinned Native American Indians like we see now. A lot of them look like me and Boo and Hood. It looked like all that's on here, you know. And so we've been brainwashed in a lot of ways to believe that we all came from yep, there go that book. And it's not even available. Once upon a time it was on there, but the ticket was crazy. Like they actually had like $250,000 to buy this book. Now you can't even buy it. But I think the PDF is still out there and available.
It's only 32 pages.
If you go back to it and like look through the screenshots they have or the pictures of it, you can see probably why. Because it's very straight to the point. It really is. Like when you say facts, it don't do all of the
It's probably get straight to it.
It does. It just laid the shit.
Niggas came from here.
Whatever. Yeah, like see how it lays it out. Like it's very to the point. Like you need to know this, you need to know this, you need to know this. Okay. So I can see how they can fit that in 32 pages.
I want my money back.
Yeah, I ain't paying nothing for this.
Hell no. That I think what they don't realize though is by them putting the price that high, like that's almost telling. Like, you know, if it was cheap, then nobody would look at it, give it a second look. But the fact that they've made it so unobtainable is like, what's really in this that y'all trying to keep from us? Because you know ain't no nigga gonna be able to afford this book. Like, but anyway, the PDF is out there, so you can go and like look up all the facts. But in a nutshell, it basically just exposes that we're the true and rightful owners of this land. And when you wrap your mind around exactly what that is saying, that's a big deal, because look at how we exist in it today. And so by the Pope making this gesture to apologize, to me it almost like it's an admission of guilt, in a sense that a lot of what's in that book is true, and that genocide really happened. And then the audacity to try to come back on the back end like, hey man, we're so sorry about that. But then the narrative also that they're supposedly been forgiven by the indigenous people, and that's why they were given these headdresses to wear. Is like, this shit looks like a joke.
I don't like it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that last point. This is all a joke. I don't understand. Like, this ain't admitting. I don't see it as admitting nothing. Like, you got the Pope, who is like, you know, one figure, and then you got all these other folk up here who is like actors getting paid by the government to do and be who they claim they is. Yeah, this ain't gonna change nothing. It's just a show. Like, we know who we are. Like me, you know, growing up, my grandparents told me who we were, or, you know, on my mom's side. And my dad even was like, yeah, you like, my great grandparents is full Indian. But at the same time, you know, he still went to school and still like got indoctrinated himself to like, you know, technically kind of forget that. And, you know, me too. It's the same thing is gonna happen. Like, all of this is all for show. Like, it's not gonna make no difference. I don't think this is waking nobody up. Like, it's just something for people to look at who are looking to follow along with the Matrix narrative, in my opinion, and just to keep it going. But I call BS on this. Like, it's just something to put in people's faces to think that to continue that narrative. Like, we, you know, like Torrin said, we know who, like, what the original people look like. They look like the people talking on this podcast right now. So, man, it's like, I don't see no difference, to be honest. Like, that's bullshit. Try to pay attention to this shit, because what difference is
Yeah. great summary right there, bro. Because yeah, that's bullshit. What
It
the fuck?
is bullshit.
I don't know. I guess if that make them feel better, then hey, it's okay. But yeah, I ain't got much to say on this one either.
Right.
I mean, we said it just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. They got tired of their land probably being. If you think about a lot of what's happening, and remember the show I was telling y'all about, Unexplained, and it was talking about like one of the episodes was about evil places. It talked about this. It's supposed to be some type of amusement park that they built on this land.
I was
But
watching that.
yeah, but really the land was ancient. It was an Indian burial ground that they tried to build an amusement park on top of, and wonder why 6 children died over the course of the years, that it was open. And that's because this is not the place for that. And so when you think about this land and who inherited it first, it's probably a lot of Indian burial grounds that's right under some of the worst places and the worst areas where a lot of negative energy is associated with. And so I don't know, maybe it's been a little too much. The church can't do that. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be funny, but they can't pray their way out of it. So they really trying to make peace and settle the indigenous spirits, because it's getting a little out of hand. You look at the state of the world, it is getting out of hand. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what was the point of this. Like
I think, and another thing I think I just want to mention is I think that a lot of people get hung up on trying to understand historical facts a lot of times, and I think first off, there's we just none of us were there, or in past years, we don't know what happened in certain times and periods. I think that sometimes us being trying to get try to understand the facts per se. I think we oftentimes forget about focusing on on the practices and the sciences, and and truly tapping into the spiritualness of understanding your indigenous past and history, rather than trying to just be able to say this is what happened. I'm from here and this, that, and the third. It's I think it's more important to know yeah, if we're calling ourselves the true indigenous people, then we gotta understand all right, if this is our land, then we have the most. I think people don't understand the magic that we have on this on this land. The fact that we are the original people from this on this, and instead of always trying to worry about the history or just the stuff that they're putting out there, sometimes getting back to the actual practice, understanding the practices that the indigenous practices, and understanding the power that you have in your magic. Nobody has more power than you here in America, because this is where you and your ancestry, your people come from.
Facts. And I think with that, just getting out of the kind of understanding that you have to rewrite the narrative and come to your own understanding of a lot of the things that society has told you is wrong, or whatever, because they're doing so to keep you from further away from that truth, not bring you closer to it. That's why they tell you don't, shrooms aren't good for you. Don't fuck with psychedelics, because they understand that the nature of these things is that they'll bring you closer to that truth and understanding. And they want to keep it as far away as possible.
What we got here?
Y'all was asking a question of the reason for the Pope being in Canada. I was watching Blue Pill. He posted something about this, talking about the doctrine of discovery at the heart of colonialism, and the papal bulls of of the 13th, 15th, and 14th century, which gave Europe the power to colonize this land in the first place. So, as much as we can talk shit about the Pope, he owns this motherfucker. So, everybody works for the Pope.
Mm.
Like the Vatican underwrites all things. The same way as like everybody believe in God. Well, the Pope is God. If you get
Mhm.
into the science of it, um, the Pope is Jesus. If you get into the science of it, but yeah. So uh, after Pope Francis issued his historic apology for the horrors of residential schools on Tuesday, a voice could be heard in the crowd calling for him to repudiate the doctrine of discovery. That voice is Judy Wilson, chief of whoever, bro. The doctrine of discovery originated in the form of papal bulls, edicts issued by the Catholic Church in the 15th century to empower Portugal and Spain to colonize, plunder, and enslave West Africa and the Americas. And the same condition that our ancestors were in is the same condition that we're in because we're not in the position of rulership. So, as much as like it's an interesting thing to talk shit about these people, I look at it from the perspective of damn, they hold so much power over like the sway of Western society. And I hope that it falls. I hope that we have more conversations like this to like really get to the heart of colonialism because more than not, motherfuckers just be talking about how to get more money and shit like that. So
Mhm.
I love these types of conversations because you know, Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey, they've been talking about papal bulls and the doctrine of discovery and, bootleg DVDs and stuff like that. But now it's mainstream. So whether y'all know it or not, we is getting somewhere
Closer. Yeah.
by this silly shit right here.
For
You
sure.
know, um, we ain't too far off, bro.
It's baby steps
Yeah,
to something
to
greater.
something, yeah, to
Yeah,
something in more alignment with truth.
yeah, something bubbling.
Facts.
Mhm.